Hello, folks, and welcome back to twitch.tv/games with Nick. Today we are continuing our playthrough of Gabriel Knight 3. Uh, Blood of the Secret, Blood of the Damned. That's a hard subtitle to remember. Okay, so we left off yesterday that we were sort of halfway through the 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. hour. We had just figured out that the Larry person, Larry Chester, had put an alarm for 2 a.m. Also, we discovered recently that the two men that work for Prince James of Albany, the son we're trying to save, have been brutally murdered by vampires. So we're trying to kind of figure out who's behind it and all of that. All right, so before we, actually not entirely sure where to go from here. Maybe I can talk to Grace now.
He's already...
Is looking for something, but I have no clue what. So let's just go back to grab our bike. I guess, yeah, we'll try to go talk to Grace, unless somebody's driving around. Okay. Oh.
Oh, Mr. Bowser, I'm so sorry. What a klutz I am.
It is quite all right. I was not paying attention.
Oh, no, it's my fault entirely. I was worrying about something else and not watching at all.
And Lady Howard, is she recovering?
Yes, she's resting quietly. Thank you.
I am very glad to hear that. Good day, Miss Stiles.
Good day, Mr. Bowser.
It's a weird angle to watch them walk out, I guess, but...
I don't have anything else to say to him.
Are they gonna let me fingerprint the shit in front of Baza? What are the odds?
I could.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't want to...
Anything else I can talk to? Oh, apparently I can talk to Jean about something.
Say, Jean, do you guys do wake-up calls? Maybe you could have Simone buzz the room for me about 2 a.m.?
Certainement.
You won't let me down now, will ya?
Oh, most assuredly, monsieur. I forget nothing.
I like Jean, you know, he's a little stiff, because he's French, but... Where did Estelle go?
I'll go...
That is a way for her to pop so we can follow her.
Estelle stopped in the middle of nowhere, as far as I can tell.
We start by getting my notebook out and getting There. License plate. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to recognize which one is this bike since it's the only sidecar, but...
Hi, Estelle. Everything okay?
Did you follow me here, Mr. Knight?
Me? Uh-huh. I just stopped to see if you needed help.
I do not need help, but thank you for your concern.
Don't mention it. So, how come Lady Howard's not with you? Kinda joined at the hip, ain't you?
She's had a very difficult morning. I would have stayed with her, but time is of the essence.
How did you meet Lady Howard, anyway?
Her family was the largest landholders in my village. I knew her growing up, of course, but we never played together. She made quite a name for herself on the stage, you know, when she was younger.
Oh.
And I was working in London myself as a nurse. I went to see her perform. Well, we became friends. When my father died and left me the cottage, we moved back to Hampstead. It's not exactly the manor she was born to, but it was sold years ago. Ironically, it's on the market again.
Does Lady Howard still perform?
I feel like there's a bit of a
She's taking a break
Scottish
from her
accent there.
So, what's out here?
You can see for yourself.
Doesn't look like anything to me. But then you wouldn't be here if that was the case now, would you?
Some people don't care to tell other people their business.
Oh, that's kind of rude, isn't it? It was a perfectly friendly question.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that Lily really prefers we keep our business to ourselves. Some people can be ruthless, you know, particularly...
Men?
Well, now that you've said so yourself.
So this is the spot you and Lady Howard are betting your treasure hunting dollars on, huh?
Really? I wish you wouldn't ask such things.
Hey, just curious. I don't believe in the treasure myself. All that stuff about ciphers and nonsense.
Saunier didn't conjure that money.
Well, I'm not saying he didn't find something, but what if he took all there was?
I don't believe it. There's got to be something here, and we...
And we've got to find it? Why is that, Miss Stiles?
It's none of your business. I'm sorry, but that's all I'm going to say about it.
Alright. I'm not even sure if this was necessary, but hey, we found the spot. Oh, that's something. Learn a little bit more about the past of Lady Howard and Estelle. A little bit of a sad story, but you know. British nobles. Okay, we're ready to talk to Grace, I guess.
I know it's difficult, but come back from the light, Gracie. Come back, come back.
All right. I was almost done anyway.
So what's it?
Hey, kids.
God.
What? You guys weren't about to discuss the case, were you?
Oh, go on, Grace. Tell us about the book.
Okay, check this out. Talk about wild. It ties together Freemasonry, the Templars, this group called the Priory of Sion, and like this bizarro theory about the Holy Grail. Well, what do you want to hear about first?
What's this got to
Let's
do
go in
with
order.
the Templars and the Freemasons?
Okay, according to the book, the Templars were the founders of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, and when they were persecuted, some of them fled to Scotland and changed their name.
What's that got to do with Rennes-le-Château?
Only that whatever is going on here, the Freemasons are obviously still involved. Some secret knowledge must have been passed down through the organization.
So, what's this Grail Theory you mentioned?
Okay, now, the Grail. Are you ready for this?
Go on.
The Grail is supposed to be a vessel, right? Like a cup. And it contains the blood of Jesus.
Yeah, go on.
The book suggests that the Grail is an allegory for an esoteric secret, a secret so heretical that it had to go underground throughout the Middle Ages. It was passed along as the legend of the Grail.
And that secret is?
That Jesus had descendants. The Grail itself is an allegory of the womb of Mary Magdalene. Okay. In other words, her womb, right, the cup, contained his blood, or rather bloodline. His heirs.
Dun dun dun!
Kinky. Is anyone actually buying this stuff about Jesus having descendants?
Sounds pretty Looney Tunes to me.
Whether it's true or not is not the point. The point is these secret societies believe it, in a big way. Okay, look, Mary Magdalene came here, right, after the crucifixion?
That's what they say.
Okay, so she brings the kids, or maybe she's pregnant. Her descendants intermarry with local nobility and become the Merovingian dynasty.
The Merovingians are supposed to be descendants of Jesus?
Yes, and the Catholic Pope betrayed and murdered them, but some of their line survived.
You're losing me.
Sorry, Mose, I'm on a roll. Okay, so the Merovingian survivors hid in this region and had backers here. Well, it could explain why so many heretics kept cropping up in the Languedoc, like the Cathars and the Templars, and Rome kept trying to wipe them out, to bury the secret of the bloodline.
Gee, those wacky popes, you just can't trust them.
Maybe it's those funny hats, you know, all that weight up there on their head.
Fine. I'll shut up now.
What's this got to do with the Templars and the Freemasons and Priory of Sion again?
They're all supporters of the bloodline, dedicated to getting the bloodline back on the throne. The Templars were probably founded to find proof of the bloodline's genealogy. That's why they were excavating under the Temple of Solomon. And the Crusades would have been the perfect cover.
Proof? Like what? A 2,000-year-old birth certificate with the father listed as the son of God?
Jesus was of the royal house of David, and if he had children, it would have been in the temple records.
If the Priory and the Templars were both supporters of the bloodline, then how come they split up?
I don't know. Maybe they had a falling out.
Like Martin Luther and the Catholics.
Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel.
The professor and Mr. Howell.
Don't start.
I'm not sure I want to know, but who or what is the Priory?
The Priory of Sion is an offshoot of the Templars. See, they split off before the Templar persecution, way back in 1188. The Priory returned to France from the Holy Land and set up a bunch of monasteries here.
What's that got to do with now?
Well, the Priory still exists, and they seem to have some kind of major agenda going on with Rennes-le-Château.
Here's a random thought. That whole argument between Prince James's men and the Abbé, if the men were Freemasons, could the Abbé be Priory?
Maybe. But I was thinking that Montreux might be Priory.
Montreux?
Yeah, he's the owner of the local winery, Chateau de Serres. There was just something weird about that place.
I'll have to check it out.
Besides, if the Priory and the Freemasons are both supporters of the bloodline, why would they be ripping each other's throats out?
I don't think they're that friendly, Mose. They may have started out in bed together, but that doesn't mean they always agree.
Oh, kind of like the U.S. and England.
Reagan and Bush.
Hardcastle and McCormick.
Siegfried and Roy.
All right already.
So what's the Priory's agenda in Rennes-le-Château?
I'm not sure exactly. But whatever it is, it probably has something to do with the bloodline.
How does this relate to the treasure?
The authors think Saunier found the Templar treasure all right, but it wasn't gold. It was ancient genealogy charts from the Temple of Solomon, which Saunier then used to, get this, blackmail the Catholic Church. Or maybe he sold the documents to people like the Priory or the Masons.
Well, it's a theory. Was there anything else I should know about the book?
Oh, maybe just one small thing. Listen. Many of the prominent families in Europe today claim Merovingian descent, including the Habsburg-Lorraines, Wittelsbachs, Plantards, and Montesquieux in France, the Sinclair family in Britain, and the Stuarts of Scotland.
The Stuarts? Prince James is a bloodline descendant?
Dun dun dun!
He's Batman.
Whoa, it does kind of change the whole picture, doesn't it?
I really need to go.
You catching a train?
No, I just,
I still want to read a bit more. So let's meet back here at 5, shall we?
Sure. See ya.
There's something up with him.
Go figure.
Alright, so that's kind of the main mystery underlying the whole thing. To say he added the Grail is really just the descendants of Christ. Which, you know, is nothing new, right? It's
Hey, that should work.
it's something that, you know, even just look at the Da Vinci Code, but that's not even a new idea. Do I need to scan
I don't
this?
think I need to scan that into Sydney.
Lady Lice. Anything else? Oh yes, the Bukali translation. Anything else? Anything else? Nah, I don't look like it.
That analyze stuff is Gracie's thing. You know how women get when you tread on the turf?
Let's do the Bukali tape from Italian to English. The Bureau of External Affairs.
Interesting conversation.
The Bureau of External Affairs, please. Fetter Greta, this is Fetter Bukali. How are you? Good, good. Yes, I'm still here. Something extraordinary has happened. There have been murders. 2 men. I saw them myself this morning. I have no idea. Well, it must be important. They didn't look like locals. I couldn't say. White. European, probably. Their throats were cut, but as I'm remembering, there was no blood at all. I don't believe so, but yes, I'll try to learn more. So far, this is the first sign of activity. Yes, and also with you. Goodbye, Fetter. We should also link the and Howard. Then we got somebody's print too, didn't we? Thing, yeah. Yes. Oh, where they had like them? Maybe it was Bukali. No, it looks like Bukali is also linked. Lady Howard Prince? Oh yeah, can. Okay. We're gonna go check out the Chateau de Serre. So before we do, now that Emilio is gone, I can finally take care of classes.
Got it. This print doesn't look anything like the one I got off Puccelli's suitcase. It must be Wilkes's glass. I'll mark it.
I should probably do this just to get some extra points. Other points really mean thing.
That's Buccelli's print. It matches the one I already have. I don't need it again.
Alright. And since we got it, might as well just add it into Sydney.
No thanks.
No, I don't want to use the bed. I want to use data. Specs. Oats. Bulk sprint. New exit. Right, now we can go to the Chateau d'Espère. I can't talk to the Abbe, can I?
Yeah, I know he's lying, but maybe I should let him stew for a while.
By the way, our daily reminder that is Tim Curry, Tim Curry, you know, the British actor, Rocky Horror Picture Show, a bunch of other stuff, that plays Gabriel Knight.
Oh.
Isn't that lovely?
Je regrette, mais nous sommes fermés.
I have no idea what you just said, but
Yes, what is it you want?
My name's Knight. I'm a reporter. I'm doing a feature on Languedoc wineries, and I'd love to include you in my spread.
I'll see if the chateau owner is free.
Bonjour, Monsieur Knight. I'm Excelsior Montreux, the owner and viticulturist of Chateau de Serre.
Nice of you to see me, Mr. Montreux. I should have made an appointment, but I get better results just knocking about. The best places don't advertise.
Ah, well, how true. Now allow me to take you to the wine tasting room. Marceau?
What would you like to serve, sir?
Ah, are you a red man or a white? No. Let me guess. Red, yes?
Gosh, it shows, huh?
Do you like it dry?
Oh, hell, I'd drink dust if I could.
Well, let's see then. Perhaps the 76 Merlot.
Yes, sir.
I'm terribly sorry that you caught us unprepared today. We were about to shut the main gate.
Everything's all right, I hope?
Oh, yes. Here, anyway. The constable called a little while ago. There was a murder in the vicinity last night.
A murder?
It's very...
Murder, you say?
But I suppose even here we're not immune. Oh, well, we should let it breathe for a moment.
Right. Nothing worse than suffocated wine.
Okay.
Are you from this area, Mr. Montreux?
Yes and no. I grew up in Paris, but my family has owned this estate for decades. My wife and I permanently settled here some years ago. Children do take pleasure in the country air.
Oh, you got kids?
Oh, yes, a beautiful daughter who is away at school, and my firstborn son, Enoch. He's 12. Have you children?
What a beautiful name, Enoch.
But you must.
So biblical.
Children are every man's right to immortality.
Well, it's not the kid part I mind so much as the marriage part.
Oh, no, a wife need not be a burden if she knows her place. Her role is to serve you, after all, to care for home and heirs and leave a man to pursue nobler things.
Cool.
Lord,
This
the
guy is
Lord.
definitely not a bad guy at all, and not completely misogynistic.
What kind of training do you need to be a viticulturist?
The lessons I consider most valuable came from my father. He was quite a master.
I ran into an interesting tourist angle today. Seems the Holy Grail is supposed to be around here.
Oh, the Grail is a marvelous legend. But most stories are ignorant of the true meaning of the Grail. You see, the Grail has far less to do with Christ than with an idea. The fountain of youth, the eternal flame, the philosopher's stone.
All of those are related to the Grail?
Oh, yes. The Grail is that thing, that one thing, or whatever symbol you use for it, that represents completion, perfection, the absolute. Do you understand now?
Well, no, not really.
Turning base lead into pure gold. That is the alchemist's aim. But it's not about real lead and real gold. It's symbolic. Man is the lead. God is the gold. Man to God. That is the alchemist's goal. That is the Holy Grail.
Huh. But I thought with the Grail, it was actually the blood. The blood in the Grail that was the, the immortal thing.
Well, of course. The blood is the elixir of life, the juice of the forbidden fruit.
The juice of the forbidden fruit?
No, never mind. Dusty old theories are a hobby of mine. Let's stick to the wine, shall we?
Do you know anything about the murder?
No, not really. There were two men, neither of them from here by the sound of it.
Do you believe the stories about a local treasure?
Indeed. It is in my soil, monsieur.
What exactly is viticulture?
You are a wine critic, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's your definition?
Well, to me, viticulture is about breeding, and I don't mean the mechanics of grafting. Grafting is only a tool. What's meaningful is the essence of the two vines you're combining. There are literally thousands of grapes, and most viticulturists choose from well-known stock. But my father always bred his own grapes, and has passed down some very rare species.
I'm fascinated.
Really? Well, I don't want to bore you.
I'd like to hear more about your breeding program.
You won't reveal my secrets?
For my ears only.
Very well. The secret is in mixing the best strains, of course. But there is an art to it. My father taught me to visualize the ideal grape. Once you can visualize this perfect fruit, you can analyze even the best stock and see where it is lacking, in color or body, for example. Or perhaps it could be just a touch sweeter or lighter. And the trick is to find a grape equally fine, but one which is perfect in exactly those areas which the first grape is flawed. The marriage of these two vines will produce an heir, and then this heir undergoes the same process, you see.
Oh, don't you ever get where you're going?
Eventually. But even in the interim, your grape will soon be far superior to anyone else's. Try the wine, Mr. Knight.
Wow, that's good.
This fruit did not come about by accident. It is the result of thousands, even millions of crossbreedings. Everything that it is today is a result of that hereditary tree. Don't you think it is ironic that a grape or even a dog or a cat should be so carefully bred? But
No,
most
totally
humans
not a
see
super
no
villain
such
thing to say here.
thing
Yup.
as love.
Then again, there is something to be said for spontaneity.
Wow,
Is
that
there?
line read too. There is something to say about spontaneity. It's like a fucking Leghorn read.
You know, hearing you talk, it reminds me of something. What is it?
Alchemy? The transmutation of the philosopher's stone?
Nope, that's not it. It was Ask Mr. Science. Y'all get that program here?
Television? I'm afraid not.
Well, they had this bit about DNA. Kind of how DNA has this funny pasta shape, but it's really billions and billions of instructions, kinda. You get into DNA with your breeding program at all?
Actually, DNA is an interesting issue, Mr. Knight. Did you know that the magic alchemists used was based on an intuitive understanding of the principles of DNA?
I'll be darned.
But to answer your question, no. I have my own ways of testing the vines, and they're far older and more traditional than DNA testing. Excuse me. Allo, ici Excelsior. Ah oui. Préparez une note pour sa leçon. Forgive me, I'm afraid I must return to the house. The news of the murder has quite upset my wife. Besides, my son awaits his afternoon lesson.
Well, thanks for the interview, Mr. Montreux.
You're most welcome. Au revoir, Mr. Knight.
Kind of a nice fella. Where the hell is a universal skeleton key when you need one?
Like it's also a reference to an older game, but I couldn't tell which one.
And leave my heart.
Why did I actually walk out here? Sure. I think our Harley. Let's stop at Poussin's tomb just to see what's there, but literally nothing is there, I guess. Goodbye, Ed Lamar. Nope. Anybody at the other area thing? Nope. Okay. Just trying to be thorough, see if we more people around here or not. Guy still doesn't speak in English. Nobody else is here. Cop's still here, so probably not gonna let me.
I really don't.
No, okay. Figured as much. Anybody at L'Hermitage? Nope. Okay, well, I've been everywhere that I could, so I hope that this does it for the hour, and can move on to the next R slot. Yeah, we did it.
So where's Mosley?
Hey guys, it's 5.
Thank you, O guardian of the clock.
Okay, don't start, you two. I want to hear what happened.
You mean at Chateau de Serras? You're right. The guy's probably into one of these secret societies. You should have heard him go on about alchemy, but I don't know. He seemed more bookish than anything.
I say anyone who's involved with these secret societies is a big suspect.
Speaking of which, Larry Chester is definitely lying. He said McDougal and Mallory just stopped by last night for directions. I couldn't get him to crack.
Who's this? Chester?
That's right.
Interesting. I'll get started on the treasure angle. Check out the museum and church tonight. That book really got my juices flowing.
So that's what it takes.
Huh?
So, are we gonna eat or what? I'm starved.
Well, actually, Grace and I had talked about catching up.
That's okay, Mose. I want to stick with my research for a while. Why don't you and Gabriel go?
I can wait till later if you...
No, I think that's a great idea. In fact, I think we should be going right now, shouldn't we, Mose?
See ya.
See, Grace, maybe after dinner?
Alright, 5 to 10 p.m. This is when final deal with Le Serpent Rouge. Continue. Alright, so do we have a bunch of things to scan? A couple of things to scan. Might as well do that already. The pain of only having 9 characters to call a file. Let me try. Images recognized as a map. Correspondences and patterns are not readily apparent with such a volume of points. To analyze regions or relationships between objects on the map, use enter points to select objects, then start analysis to pass relate. Either recognized as symbols. Symbols not in Sydney database. Will conduct search of offline databases, then return search via email. Matches found. Text appears to have irregularities in design, see extract anomalies. Hidden geometries present in image, see view geometry. Message inserted and text is indicated by the letters erased above the text line. Letters are Adago, blah, 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 blah. Let's try doing French.
There's a hidden message in the text.
Hidden message. Dagobert de Eration, ce trésor est-il la mort. Translation, to Dagobert II, king into Siam, is this treasure, and it is their head. Apparently there's a triangle hidden in this picture. Cool. Okay, and if we look at the second parchment, ooh, there's a bunch of things. Text matches verse from Greek New Testament with additional letters inserted. This looks like French.
Shepherdess no temptation that Poussin Teniers hold the key. Peace 681 by the cross and this horse of God, I complete this demon guardian at midday. Or to the meridian, blue apples. I think I'll write that cipher down.
Shepherdess, no temptation that Poussin Teniers hold the key. Peace 681 by the cross and this horse of God I complete, destroy this demon guardian at midday, blue apples. There's a square and a circle in the text.
Scion. These parchments must be linked to the Priory somehow.
Dang. Okay. Anything else that we need to do? No, not at the moment. So we need to go and purchase a handful of things before we keep going.
What do you care anyway? You said you weren't interested.
I'm not. That doesn't mean I care to watch you belly up to the trough. Besides, you're just setting yourself up for a fall. Gracie doesn't like you that way.
Oh? And what kind of guy would she like?
I don't know. Younger, maybe? Good-looking? A nice guy? She deserves a nice guy.
Which explains her alleged attraction to you.
Oh, that's purely chemical. Poor kid. See, I've got this pheromone thing going on.
Yeah, I tried not bathing myself once, but my coworkers got a little upset about it.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. You never could stand my success with women.
No, it was how you screwed with women that I couldn't stand.
Ah, back off, Lancelot.
Yeah, I guess we better talk about something else before I get worked up.
Hello, boys.
Oh, Madeline.
Hey.
Oh, you are already dining. How disappointing. I was hoping to spend some time with you. And especially with you, Gabriel.
Well, we can make room.
But I must change. The night is just beginning. Will I see you when I come down?
Wouldn't miss it.
Sure.
Then I will be extra quick. A bientôt.
Man, is she hot for you. Whew. Where'd that come from?
Pheromones.
Christ. You gonna go for it?
Why not? Sex worked for Bond.
But Grace is in your room.
Yeah, what did I tell you? Having her around is like wearing a freaking chastity belt.
Ugh.
But Madeline doesn't have a roommate.
Well, go for it, I guess.
That is really not a nice way to talk about a woman, needless to say.
Good evening, Signore Bukeli.
And to you, Miss Nakimura.
Have you quite recovered from this afternoon?
See, with a little help from the vine.
Oh, Italians.
I just don't want to talk.
We just love our grapes. Fun.
Good evening, Mademoiselle Nakimura. Jean told me you are staying in room 25 with Monsieur Knight.
I bet he did.
I am Simone, Mademoiselle. I hope you will enjoy your visit.
Thanks. Have you seen anything, I don't know, curious around town lately?
Ah, oui, Mademoiselle.
What?
Someone has bought a chicken. It is making my mother crazy, this chicken. It comes to the garden, it eats her seeds. I do not know who is the owner of this chicken, but I know my mother. This chicken will be in the soup pot one night.
Oh, well, it happens to the best of us. Do you know anything about the treasure, Simone?
Well, I have seen many treasure seekers come and go, Mademoiselle, but I have never thought much of the idea myself. But there is a museum if...
Yeah, I know. Thanks anyway.
Alright, let's actually go check the museum. I like how it's getting a little darker. Oh, let's talk to Baza.
How are you feeling, Mr. Baza?
Oh, much better, thank you.
It was quite a shock, wasn't it?
What was?
The two dead men?
The two... Oh, of course.
Yes, it really was a shock. Are you quite all right, Miss Nakamura?
You know, you're the first person who's asked me that.
Sometimes it is easier for a stranger to be polite than a friend. But don't let me keep you. I'm sure you have better things to do.
All right. Oh, I love this golden hour. When the lights are dimming, evening starting, you can hear the cicadas.
Ugh, they're closed. Shoot.
Yo, there's a big thing in front of this thing. Why don't you grab this instead?
Oh my god! It's a copy of Le Serpent Rouge.
So this is probably the coolest part of Gabriel Knight 3. It's a multi-part treasure hunt kind of thing. Where you kind of have to use Sydney and the computer and the map to follow the track of this thing. But before we do, fingerprints! Ooh.
There is a fingerprint on it.
Alright. Add this. We're going to analyze it to compare it to the prints that we have. Oh, use on suspect screens. Okay. Match analysis.
Oh, shoot. Whoever's print that is, we don't have them in the database yet. I guess I'll try again later, when we've got more prints.
Darn it. Okay, it is now time to enjoy reading the Serpent Rouge.
In my arduous search, I was trying to hack away with my sword through the dense vegetation of the woods like some pawn of destiny. I wanted to reach the place of the sleeping beauty, in which some poets can see the queen of a lost kingdom. Desperate to find the way, I laid down the path of Ra and was illuminated. I was further aided by the parchments of my friend. They murmur of the lady. Long ago, her name was Isis, queen of the benevolent springs. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Others knew her as Magdalene with the celebrated vows of healing balm. The initiated knew her to be the Lady of the Lake and Notre Dame de Cross. The circle is the ring, and the crown forms the diadem of the queen of the castle. The queen's guard is the quaternity, they who stand watch over the guardian. I look to the north and the west, then the south and the east, and everywhere I see them, their shining swords held out to meet each other. Saint Michael and his brothers with their feet rooted in the earth, they surround the Is that none may harm her, and stand pressed against her in a way that Pythagoras would have approved. No, there's no point in scanning Le Serpent Rouge. I'll have to interpret the verses myself.
Oh.
Sydney isn't that smart.
Know what I meant to do. I meant to do this.
In the sanctuary is the font, fountain of love of those who believe, reminding us of these words, by this sign you will conquer. I understand this now. The four are the stuff of the alchemist's laboratory, and their cant reflects the light in harmony with their queen. And yet the angels hold tight the secret of the angle that is the key to the kingdom. My friend knows the secret, but wisely he hides the fruit among the chaff, that the treasure not be lost to the infidels. The mosaic tiles of the sacred place alternate black or white, and Jesus, like Asmodeus, observes their alignment. I can find 64 stones of the perfect cube, which the knights of the beauty of the black wood had scattered when they fled from the white fort while they were being pursued by the usurpers. Reassemble the scattered stones and, working with square and compass, put them into ranks. The knightly order of the perfect cube fits within and gives structure to Our Lady's protector, the heavenly quartet. The mosaic tiles of the sacred place alternate black or white, and Jesus, like Asmodeus, observes their alignment. I can find 64 stones of the perfect cube, which the knights of the beauty of the black wood had scattered when they fled from the white fort while they were being pursued by the usurpers. Reassemble the scattered stones and, working with square and compass, put them into ranks. The knightly order of the perfect cube fits within and gives structure to Our Lady's protector, the heavenly quartet. I visit the tomb of the celebrated painter Poussin and, like the shepherds, puzzle at the enigma of the tomb. My brain pounds, the light burns my eyes. It is all too mixed up to tell. Teniers, too, has dipped his brush in the earth, and his at the innermost places of the queen. Here is the sign that Teniers has given in his innocent recluse. Surely there is a path between the two.
Okay.
16 form the center, and the center forms 16. I pray to St. Paul for direction, and he answers with a simple gesture. Here is the reconstruction to which so many noble minds were dedicated. I look to the Book of the Hermit for reassurance. The numbers they give me confirm the truth. What strange mystery is concealed in the new Temple of Solomon, built by the children of St. Vincent? No, there's no point in scanning the Serpent Rouge.
Added it again.
And still, my task has not ended. Still, a bit of curtain blocks the light. Something must complete the message. Something which will give us entry into the abyss. Truth and falsehood battle in my head until I hear their message. It is the number of our patron sky traveler and that of a famous seal. The soul of the matter is evident to me now. At the intersection of the many, I lay down one rigid arm, and the others scatter around the crown like jewels. At last, the queen is adorned for her coronation. Three is the Trinity, and the separation of the spheres. The three which are the four are the divisions of the temple. I began my journey in the shadows and completed it in the light. I had marked the site at last, there in the center of the most sacred space. At the summit of the mountain, the place stood out in the brilliance of the midday sun. It was guarded by the three knights' towers, the rooks, on the circuit of the divine horsemen of the abyss. At the window of the ruined house, I looked across the trees denuded by autumn. Close to me, a presence, its feet in the water, like one who has just received the mark of baptism. I recalled the inscription, Et in Arcadia ego, blank, blank, blank. Through some selfish inspiration, I found the missing three. The dust settled, and I saw at last. Curses, I know the truth. He is there, dead. The broken bread lies forgotten beneath the altar.
Finally.
But the worst is yet to come. How many have pillaged the house, using the most sacred for purposes most foul? I turn north. Facing me, I see unwinding endless by its coils, the enormous red serpent mentioned in the documents, rigid and bitter. The huge unleashed beast at the foot of the White Mountain becomes scarlet with greed and drunk with stolen and profane communion. Deliver me out of the mire. I am aware of the scent of the perfume which impregnates the sepulchre of the one I must release. Cursing the profane in their ashes, and those who follow their ways, returning from the darkness while making the gesture of horror at the abyss into which I had plunged. Here is the proof that I knew the secret seal of Solomon, and I had visited the secret places of the queen who watches over the king. Take heed, my friend. Do not add or take away one iota. Think and think again. The base lead of my words may contain the purest gold. Let he who has the understanding use it with wisdom.
All right.
That's the last page.
This is the Serpent Rouge. This is a really cool, again, puzzle that Jin Jensen herself wrote. So let's try to solve it one thing at a time. In my artist search, I started to find, trying to back a many with my, let's have Grace free read it because I really can't box that.
In my arduous search, I was trying to hack away with my sword through the dense vegetation of the woods like some pawn of destiny. I wanted to reach the place of the sleeping beauty, in which some poets can see the queen of a lost kingdom. Desperate to find the way, I laid down the path of Ra and was illuminated.
Laid down the path of Ra, was illuminated. Into the search. Oh, no. What I want to do. The opposite. Search. Ra. Ra is usually represented as a man with the head of a bird. He's the god of the sun, and his number is 6. That is maybe a bit. Path of Ra.
I laid down the path of Ra. Ra is god of the sun. The path of the sun? The path of light, perhaps.
Ooh, right. Remember, it says, if we look at the church, on July 22nd of each year, the feast day of Saint Mary Magdalene, of one since the church had done, turns toward the Chateau de Blanchefort, the sun will rise straight over the ruins, forming a straight line of light between the two. Okay. So we then go here to our map. And what we want to do is we want to enter point. One at Rennes-le-Chateau and the other at the Chateau de Blanchefort.
Very cool.
Ooh, a straight line marked between the 2 points intersects with the meridian and point arcs. Part 2.
I was further aided by the parchments of my friend. They murmur of the lady. Long ago her name was Isis, queen of the benevolent springs. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Others knew her as Magdalene with the celebrated vows of healing balm. The initiated knew her to be the Lady of the Lake and Notre Dame de Cross. The circle is the ring, and the crown forms the diadem of the queen of the castle.
Isis, Magdalene, Lady of the Lake. Something about a circle. Isis was the most important Egyptian goddess, wife of Osiris and mother to Horus and to all creation. The cult of Isis was widespread in Greece and Rome also, until overrun by Christianity. Osiris was murdered and cut into pieces. Isis gathered pieces and put them back together, healing Osiris and reviving him. Isis was believed to have given birth to the sun. Ra, her symbol, was the circle. Okay. Lady of the Lake. The Lady of the Lake is a mysterious female goddess or spirit who rose from the lake in order to hand King Arthur's sword Excalibur. Excalibur was a magical sword that gave Arthur the power to rule a kingdom. In that sense, the Lady of the Lake could be regarded as muse or guardian of Arthur. Her purpose and origins remain a mystery, but some stories have also linked her to the Grail, which King Arthur was to pursue in later quests. Notre Dame de Cross. Just Mary, I guess. Mary, the mother of Jesus, is revered by Catholics around the world. In 431 AD, she was declared to be holy. In 1854, Pope Pius IX stated that Mary was a virgin birth. Pope Pius XII designated Mary Queen of Heaven and Queen of the World. She's recently been granted the title of Co-Redemptrix. Some of this rising up of Mary to a position of goddess-like power has offended Protestant religions, who believe that Mary was only human and that she had other children with her husband Joseph after birth. None of this makes the cult of Mary any less mysterious and dynamic within Catholicism, gaining the highest adherents, including the current Pope, John Paul II. Gives an idea of how old this game is. We had 2 popes since then. Over the centuries, Mary has appeared in a number of sightings, particularly in the last 100 years, as such places as Lourdes, Medjugorje, and Fatima. These places have become shrines where thousands go for healing or for pilgrimage. Mary is often thought to involve herself more directly in human affairs, even perhaps to become a kind of guardian spirit of those who have been faithful in her service. Mary has been known by various titles, including Queen of the World, Queen of Heaven, Mother of God, the Blessed Virgin, the Holy Mother, the Immaculate. Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna read this about Jesus. Everybody knows about Jesus. Let's look at Serpent Rouge again. Magdalene. Make sure to search for Magdalene. I feel like I read about Magdalene already. Notorious sinner. She was Jesus defeated with her tears. Bodies believed to rest in a church near Marseille.
There are 4 statues of Magdalene with the skull and 4 names for Magdalene given in Pisces.
Oh.
Isis, Magdalene, Lady of the Lake, and Notre Dame de Cross. And the part about the circle forms the ring, it must be talking about locating the treasure geographically. Maybe there's some circle around here.
Okay. So again, the spots that we need to look at. I think it's in skulls. Saint-Just-le-Bézu, Bugarac, and Costosa. So we have, once again, the point in Rennes. Saint-Just-le-Bézu, Bugarac, Costosa. And we're using a circle and see if we can have a circle.
Incredible! It's Magdalene's crown. I'll
Wow.
write those coordinates down. It looks like they're at L'Hermitage.
Cool. Yeah, I guess we can go a little bit longer. Okay. Do I have? I don't think I have a way of actually going to L'Hermitage, do I? Because Gabriel didn't stuff. But it's the hour change, so we should check in on people. Ooh, we should definitely take some prints here. Really, no prints at all? Come on!
I'm ready. Does anyone want to go out? We could drive to the bar at Rennes-le-Bain.
Sure.
What about Grace?
Oh, she's busy with her research. She'll be in the room for... Oh, hey, Grace. Want to go to Rennes-les-Bains with us?
No, thank you.
See, told ya.
Maybe I'll hang out too.
We need you, right, Madeline?
Of course. Do come with us, please.
All right. Grace, see ya.
Don't work too hard. Get some dinner.
Oh, you bet. Jerk.
I still have no way to go anywhere. Why? Dining room.
How you feeling, Lady Howard? Better, I hope.
Oh, don't remind me. Such horrors! One takes a vacation for ease, for comfort. What does one find? Horrors! Don't think about it, Lily.
I'm sorry.
Don't think about it, Lily.
The tomato sauce smells divine.
Oh, I do believe I'll be ill. Lily, please. Have some water, there's a good girl. Thank you for stopping by, Miss Nakamura.
Sure. Sorry. Bye.
Palestining? Nope. We got Simone already.
I don't have anything.
We have Bukele's drinking wine. Baza is drinking thing. Nothing going here. I'm not sure why it went there. There really nothing for us to do.
I'm certainly not.
Oh yeah, just take any more of the.
I'll leave that up to Gabriel.
Okay. He's not the people person. We try once again for the still closed up.
The museum is closed.
Yep, okay. So I guess just frickin' do more Serpent Rouge, huh? I mean, I gave it a shot. I tried. Okay. Part 3.
The Queen's Guard is the Quaternity, they who stand watch over the Guardian. I look to the north and the west, then the south and the east, and everywhere I see them, their shining swords held out to meet each other. Saint Michael and his brothers with their feet rooted in the earth, they surround the IS that none may harm her, and stand pressed against her in a way that Pythagoras would have approved.
The Quaternity, St. Michael, Pythagoras. Term means in a group of 4, but term is used exclusively in alchemy and geometry. So it means we need to kind of do a square. Yeah, we read this before, right? Double triangle. That's what Pythagoras is about. And, Gabriel, I think it was? No? I feel like it was one of your archangels, but I forgot. Saint Michael. So Michael is one of the 7 archangels. It's kind of weird that they call it saint when he was an angel in the first place, but Michael, who wrestles with the devil and wins, he's often depicted fighting a dragon or devil in human form. Some accounts, he's the angel who threw Satan out of heaven at the time of the fall. Such Michael is often called upon by the faithful to help them resist temptation. Michael has very subtle significance. In alchemy, he is one of 4 angels, along with Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel, while the 4 corners of the word represent the 4 elements: fire, or wind, air, and water. So we really just need to kind of fit a square in here somehow. I should listen to what Grace has to say about it.
They surround the IS. ISIS? That none may harm her and stand pressed against her in a way that Pythagoras would have.
It's the circle is inscribed indeed. Okay. Yep. Inscribed.
I'm sure that square is the right size, but I'm not sure what angle it's at in relation to the meridian. Maybe Taurus can help.
Alright. Next up.
In the sanctuary is the font, fountain of love of those who believe, reminding us of these words, "By this sign you will conquer." I understand this now. The four are the stuff of the alchemist's laboratory, and their cant reflects the light in harmony with their queen. And yet the angels hold tight the secret of the angle that is the key to the kingdom. My friend knows the secret, but wisely he hides the fruit among the chaff, that the treasure not be lost to the infidels.
Part of the stuff of Jacob's laboratory and just reflect the light. By the sun you will conquer, and fruit. I figured that was probably a little much. I remember that there's in the church, so if we read the church pamphlet, it might tell us something. First fruits. The term first fruits designate the offerings of the first crops of the harvest and beasts of the herds, which are supposed the best of quality to placate and give thanks to the gods. However, the term is derived from an earlier term, the firstborn of the womb, designating the firstborn of the creatress. Firstborn of the creatress extends back to the Sanskrit something. Every priesthood wanted its god to be the firstborn of the creatress, so most Asian gods claim to be. This desire aroused because it was held that her first child would naturally have authority over all others. Since realistically it was even impossible to believe each god was firstborn, scholars finally settled upon the term and agreed that it designated each god was the firstborn of one of the great mothers, Virgin Emanations. Thus, each god was born from a virgin birth. A classical example of this was Buddha. Each of his many incarnations was the firstborn of the goddess's early representative, a temple maiden, or Devadasi. The maiden also was known as the Virgin Bride of God, who bore the name as the spirit of Maya, the virgin aspect of Mother Kali. In all such myths, the Virgin had an early earthly husband who never laid with her until she brought forth her firstborn, who was known as the Son of God, or as with Buddha, the son of Ganesha, the Lord of Hosts. During this period in the Middle Ages, the name Maya became Maya, Mari, or Mary, all pertaining to the Virgin of God, or the Temple Maiden, or Kadashka, which is equivalent to the Hindu Devadasi. Such myths fit the classic Indo-European legends, where an angel of the Lord came unto Mary, a biblical phrase for sexual intercourse, and her husband Joseph knew her not until she had brought forth her firstborn son. Usually the firstborn, the divine son, was singled out for a special fate, who was the son of a god, came from the god, and was to be sacrificed and offered back onto the god. Thence the meanings of both terms, or the firstborn and first fruits, are practically synonymous. From the most archaic times, the first fruits of any crop were offered in placation and thankfulness to the god visible. The firstborn sacrifice was a very ancient tradition among the Egyptians, as recorded in the Book of the Dead. On the day of hacking in pieces the firstborn, the mighty ones in heaven light the fire in the cauldrons, where heaped up the thighs of the firstborn. This thought that perhaps later dynasties permitted animal sacrifices, but hieroglyphic signs showed these thighs to be human and not animal. There appears to be a similarity between the mass sacrifice of the firstborn Egyptian sons to appease the gods and the biblical record of the killings to appease Yahweh. It came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of the Pharaoh who sat on his throne until the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the cattle. Like the Egyptian gods, Yahweh demanded the firstborn sacrifice. Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever opens the womb amongst the children of Israel, both men and of beasts, it is mine. Thither your Yahweh redeemed the firstborn of Israel. And it came to pass, when the Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrifice unto the land all that opens the womb, being males, but all the firstborn of my children. This leads to the Jewish ceremony of the eating of the Paschal lamb at Passover to commemorate the release of Jews from bondage. Some scholars further suggest that the biblical story of the Abraham's wanting to sacrifice his son Isaac is parallel to the Boeotian myth of the king's firstborn son Phrixus, who was to be sacrificed at the altar, when the ram of the golden fleece suddenly appeared as a substitute victim. There is also another incident among many of sons being killed by the god Yahweh, when the sons of Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, put incense and fire into their censers to make offerings to the Lord, which the Lord commanded them not to do. There went out fire from the Lord and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. Two facts seem evident. The sacrifice of the firstborn was usually when the god Yahweh was displeased, or when his people wished his favor. He, like all gods, had to be appeased, or so the people were made to believe. Originally, the sacrifice of human and animal victims seemed preferable to the gods rather than the crops. This is seen among the Druids, the ancient Jews, the Aztecs, the Khans of southern India, as well as many other cultures. Although blood sacrifices are not used in most neo-pagan or witchcraft ceremonies, they are still practiced in religions of voodoo and Santeria. The god Yahweh accepted animal and fruit sacrifices, but it was not the first to do so. Oriental priests were offering animal sacrifices long before the period of Abraham. The Jew continued offering human sacrifices right down to the Essenic ceremonies of the Christus. From the Essenic Christus ceremonies came the Christian or Catholic celebrations of the Mass. According to Catholicism, the Mass is the unbloody reenactment of the crucifixion of Christ. This occurs within the mystery of the substantiation, the changing of the elements of bread and water into the body and blood of Christ, which the celebrants may consume in the communion services. Also, most Protestant denominations have a communion. For the Christians, the crucifixion of Christ, which they believe atoned for their sins, negated the need for human and animal sacrifices. Many of the sacrifices preceding the Christian era, priests became selfish and gave only the inedible parts of the sacrificial victims to the gods, thus keeping the meat for themselves and the people. Some cultures thought it only necessary to offer the animal's blood to gods. Blood was offered because it was believed the animal's life and vitality was in its blood. It's the attraction of blood. Thus, the priests of Oriental and Grecian temples, as well as the rabbis and Jewish synagogues, lived off of the sacrifices. Boy, this is a lot. People drinking blood. Let's look at the Serpent Rouge again. Right, by the sun you will conquer. I want to look at 10 probably, right? No, 9? Where's the by the sun you will conquer? Oh, the devil and the four angels. Classic Christian motive, position of the hands in genuflection, direction or shape. Well, if you think about the cross...
I don't think there'll be another one of those on the map.
Oh, no? Well, I guess we're still just trying to figure out how to rotate this one, huh? I need a new point. What do you think, Grace?
How do I tilt the square? It says, my friend knows the secret but wisely hides the fruit among the chaff. Who's my friend? Is it talking about the parchments again?
Also, for those of you who do not know, that's the sound that modems made to connect to stuff. At midday, I complete this demon garden at midday. Usatanier hold the key. No, right, did you? Enter. So now that we have that, oh, need more points. Continue. Let me search. Oh, no. I don't mean to do that. Usa. Oh. It also says Pomme Bleu. Maybe I need to join the Chateau de Serre. I'm not convinced by that. I think the tomb is a good idea.
How do I tilt the square? It says, my friend knows the secret but wisely hides the fruit among the chaff. Who's my friend? Is it talking about the parchments again?
The secret of the angle. My friend hides the chaff. Go back to the church. We don't have a lot of time left, but we can.
I'm simply not up for another boring night in our room. I realize this is not the Riviera, but surely something can be done.
A little quiet would be good for you after today's excitement. And we can go over the...
No, not that. My brain hurts already. I say there, Signore Buchelli. Are you up for bridge?
Con molto piacere. It would be a pleasure.
Now what about a fourth? You there, Miss... Oh, bother.
It's Grace.
Of course it is. Won't you join us for bridge, Grace?
Oh, no, thank you. Why don't you ask...
What about Mr. Wilkes? Where is Mr. Wilkes?
I was just wondering that myself, Signora. I haven't seen him since he left the hotel this afternoon.
What a bother. How unsociable people are these days. No manners whatsoever. I say, Mr. Barzer, would you join us?
I would be happy to oblige.
Right, well, while we are playing... Might as well. Fingerprints. Oh, I'm gonna do it because we're gonna have
That's
one.
Buchelli's glass.
I got you,
And
Amelia.
a single print. Now, isn't that odd?
Yes, I didn't got you. Yep. The church. This way. Thank God churches never close.
I bet this is the statue Taurus mentions. I bet this is the statue...
Okay, so let's see if we can figure it out. It says, Fountain of Love, does believe remind you of these words? I understand this now. Four are the stuff of the alchemist's laboratory, and these can reflect the light in harmony. Yet the angels hold tight the secret of the angle, that is the kingdom. My friend knows the secret, but wisely hides the fruit among the chaff, that the treasure not be left to lost to the angels.
Those angels' gestures might not be what they appear. Let me see if I can figure it out. It's a tilted square.
Yeah, we kind of had that.
I bet this is the statue Taurus mentions.
Okay. Did you figure out how much to tilt it? Because that's kind of what we need, Grace. I need something to figure out how. Again, the Poussin thing. Let me look at the two parchments again. We'll have to call it. Dagobert II and Scion. What do they have to say about Dagobert? Does the church have anything to say about Dagobert?
Those Magdalene statues mark the points on the circle. All this stuff is interesting, but I'm not sure how to use it.
Yeah.
All this stuff. Those Magdalene.
Nope.
Sunrise line on the feast day of.
Yeah, we did this. Okay. I have to admit that at the moment I am a little stuck. So we will. Okay, let's look at the other parchment. Shepherdess with no temptation that Poussin hold the key. Keys 681 by the cross and this horse of God. I complete the spirit guardian to the apples. Poussin map. Oh, there's the Meridian right next to it. What if I put one? No. Well, I feel like the Meridian has. Anyway, this is gonna have to do it for tonight. We'll get back to it. We'll get back to it next week, next Wednesday. So I hope you look forward to coming back and trying to puzzle this out together. In the meantime, I will see you next on Sunday for some more Prince of Persia. So see you then, and take care.